Hey there, friends. As many of you know, I have just as much disdain for Republicans as I do for Democrats. I think once you enter that zip code in Washington, D.C., you become absolute garbage. In saying that, I'd like to share a little bit of what one of our Rhino friends, Ryan Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, is doing. You'll remember Ryan. He's one of the Rhinos who voted for the massive, quote, Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, anti-gun, unconstitutional gun control bill last year. This was all under pressure of the Biden administration and, of course, the timing of the Uvalde shooting, where everybody had emotions and they voted clearly based on emotion. Brian was one of those guys. You may also remember that Brian is one of these people who pushed and voted time and time again for Speaker Kevin McCarthy to become Speaker back in January. You'll remember a lot of the holdouts out there wanted some of the constitutionality of America to be restored. Well, Brian was not one of those people. As you can see right here, he voted every single time a vote came up. He was in lockstep with McCarthy. The reason why that matters is because you'll remember a report that we put out a couple days ago talked about how McCarthy and Scalise had tried to pretty much extort Representative Clyde, who put forth H.J. Res. 44, to unravel the stabilizing brace unconstitutional ruling that the ATF was trying to push through. Clyde was trying to put a bill up that would basically disassemble that, and McCarthy and Scalise approached him and threatened him and said, your bill's not going to make it if you don't vote in favor of this debt ceiling thing with McCarthy. That's why I bring up the vote for McCarthy. You see where this man's alliances lie. They lie with McCarthy. Well, apparently they don't just lie with McCarthy. It seems that he's no stranger to the anti-gun movement. The Twitter account for the American Accountability Foundation posted that rumblings on Capitol Hill that Representative Brian Fitzpatrick is siding with Democrats in voting against Clyde's resolution to protect the Second Amendment after Fitzpatrick took $25,000 from Gabby Giffords' PAC and the Brady Anti-Gun PAC. Well, I did a little bit of digging and come to find out that number's not exactly accurate. It's actually $29,000 if my math is correct. You'll note right here that from 2017 to 23, this was being as late as 23 this year in February, Brian got $9,000 from the anti-gun Gabby Giffords organization. And if we look a little bit further, we'll find that the Brady PAC, which is another anti-gun organization, also paid Brian a little bit of money, a little bit more than the anti-gun Giffords organization did. More like $20,000 for a total of $29,000 between these two anti-gun organizations. This is all relevant because this is all indicative of how these people in Washington, D.C. operate. They all have favors to return. This man is not going to simply put his vote in for H.J. Res. 44 just because he's a Republican. It's not how it works. He's in the swamp. He's in the middle of all these people, and he's accepting money from these anti-gun groups. These anti-gun groups will not write another check to this man if he helps to push through a resolution to unravel this stabilizing brace ban. In my opinion, Brian has already shown his true colors. I know where he stands. I've known where he stands for quite some time. But if you are in Pennsylvania and you would like to voice your opinion to Brian, simply give him a phone call. 202-225-4276 is his phone number. Call him and let him know what you think and ask him if he's planning to vote for or against HJ Resolution 44. And if he tells you one way or the other, ask him why, especially if he says he's going to vote against it. These people are notorious for getting away with this kind of scumbag activity. The beauty of the internet and of YouTube these days is the fact that these people can't hide like they used to. This person in the past could take all the money that he wanted to from these anti-gun groups and no one would ever know the better. It's like they could take all this dirty money that they wanted to and then go stand in front of their constituents and lie right to their faces. They can still do that, and many of them still do, but you now can call them out. In fact, outside of calling him, any of you that see him out in the workplace, in your communities, go talk to him. Ask him in person why he supports these people that he supports and accepts money. He could very easily turn this money away. This is $29,000. This man's bringing in $500,000 to $1 million in funds easily. This $29,000 was not necessary to accept. You could very easily send that check back, but he didn't.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. survival!